Hello students, we are thrilled to have you in InstaOwl Science class. We believe in democratizing education for all. Animals move with muscles and react with nerves. But when a plant responds to touch, light or gravity without muscles or nerves, how does it happen? Let's look at this through two examples. A touch-me-not plant folding instantly and a seedling bending slowly toward light. Both are plant movements, but one happens in seconds, the other over days. That's because plants show two types of movements. One that is independent of growth and one that is growth-based. Let's begin with the first, fast and reactive. You may have seen the Mimosa pudica or Chui Mui, a plant whose leaves fold up when touched. It's almost like the plant is shy. But unlike humans, this movement is not triggered by muscles or nerves. This is an immediate response to a stimulus, touch. But how does this signal travel in the plant? The information that the plant has been touched travels from cell to cell using electrical chemical signals. However, unlike animals, plants don't have specialized neurons, so the transmission is slower. Once the signal reaches the base of the leaf stalk, the pulvinus, the motor cells in that region suddenly lose water, reducing their turgor pressure. As these cells shrink, the leaf bends or collapses. This movement is not caused by muscle contraction, but by a loss of pressure inside specific cells, a unique and elegant mechanism plants use to respond quickly. So, this type of movement is fast and not dependent on growth.
There is another kind that is dependent on growth.
Let's explore that next. When a seed germinates, it grows upward and downward, shoots toward the sky, roots toward the earth. If growth stops, the movement stops. This is movement due to growth. And plants use this to respond to the environment. Let's look at a real-life example through an experiment. In this setup, germinating bean seeds are placed in a flask inside a box with light entering from one direction. After a few days, the shoots bend towards the light, while the roots grow downward. Then the flask is rotated. The shoots bend again, this time in the new direction of light. This bending of shoots in response to light is called phototropism. The downward growth of roots in response to gravity is called geotropism. So, the direction of growth depends on where the stimulus comes from: light, gravity, water, or even chemicals. In fact, when roots grow toward water, it's called hydrotropism. And when pollen tubes grow toward ovules due to chemicals, that's chemotropism. So, how are these messages carried within the plant? If the response is fast, like in Mimosa, plants use electrical impulses. But these impulses can't travel far or affect large areas. For longer distance coordination, plants use hormones. Plant hormones, also called phytohormones, are chemical messengers. They diffuse from one cell to another, triggering changes like bending, swelling, growing, or even halting growth. Let's look at some of these plant hormones and what they do. When a plant detects light, it produces a hormone called auxin. Auxin moves to the shaded side of the shoot, causing the cells there to elongate more than the lit side. That's why the shoot bends toward light. Another hormone, gibberellin, helps the stem grow taller and promotes elongation of cells. Cytokinins promote cell division, especially in areas where active growth is taking place, like fruits and seeds. Then there's abscisic acid, which acts as a growth inhibitor. It causes leaves to wilt in dry conditions and tells the plant when to pause its growth. While plants may look still, they're actually constantly sensing, responding, and adjusting. Every touch, every beam of light, every drop of water, the plant reads it all and reacts through carefully controlled mechanisms. Even though they don't have brains or nerves, plants have evolved brilliant ways to stay connected with their environment, all thanks to their cells, hormones, and the way they use growth or turgor pressure to move. Let's quickly go over what we have learned with the help of Instalites. We began with the types of plant movements, noticing that some are quick and happen without growth, while others depend on growth. This led us to immediate response to stimulus, like in Mimosa pudica, where movement is due to turgor pressure changes. Then we moved to growth-based movements or tropisms, where plant parts bend in response to light, gravity, water, or chemicals. And finally, we saw the role of plant hormones like auxin and gibberellin, which guide these movements by acting as messengers within the plant. Let the excitement continue with InstaOwl. Bye-bye.